Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen, welcome back to Sunday morning and the old cookbook show. Today we're going to do a recipe out of this cookbook from 1936, La Cuisine Raisonnée. This is the 1936 copy, this is a 1967 copy. It was first published in 1919 and it's kind of a pivotal book in Canadian culinary history, specifically Quebecois culinary history. Around the turn of the century, schools in Quebec realized that they did not have teaching volume for cooking that reflected life in Quebec in that time period. They could get books in French from France, but they didn't really align themselves with what was happening in Canada in that time period. And so they were looking for something uniquely Canadian. And so this book was written in 1919, and there's been 15 editions since that first edition in 1919, and it's been in flux. Every new revision, some recipes are taken out, other recipes are put in to keep it current with what was happening in that time period. So today we're going to do a recipe called Mousse Sucre d'érable, maple sugar mousse. And the 1936 recipe is a little vague in some points of what it wants me to do. Luckily, it's still in the 1967 version, and that expands on the instructions a little bit, not a whole lot. So what I have here is a packet of Knox unflavored gelatin, and I'm going to reconstitute that with a little bit of water. And we'll just mix that up, let the gelatin dissolve, and set it aside. And next I need maple sugar. So this is the maple sugar that I made earlier in the week. This stuff smells just crazy amazing. Such an amazing smell. Tastes incredible too, and I have to resist sticking it in my mouth by the spoonful because that never goes well. I feel horrible later. So into a pot. Now the idea here is that I'm supposed to reconstitute it with some water and essentially just liquefy the sugar because we're going to add that liquefied sugar into something else in a little while. So I'm going to put that on not too high of a heat, sort of a medium high, and we'll see how that goes. Next up, what order? So, just to get things moving over here, I'm going to take a cup of whipping cream. This is 35% cream. And I'm going to put that into the stand mixer just so that I've got it ready, because I have a feeling that at a certain point here it's going to get a little bit crazy in terms of how quickly things come together. I've got one egg. I'm supposed to separate the egg, and I'm going to put the white in the copper bowl because we're going to beat up this egg white. And the yolk goes in with the cream. Okay, and we're going to beat that egg white. There's not much here to beat. One egg white isn't going to really give us much. So that whipped up not too bad. That's quite a bit for one egg white. Now, I think this syrup has come up to temperature and has created a syrup that they're looking for. Not a whole lot of description about the syrup, just that I was supposed to make a syrup. So now I add the hot sugar syrup into the whipped egg white. And then we add all of that into the cream that's supposed to be whipped. So I'm going to take the gelatin at this point and I'm going to put that in with the cream as well. And just get that ready. Now, Now we put the two together. Stuff is so good. So good. Can I pour this in without making a mess everywhere? Let's see. Now I'm supposed to let this sit for a couple of minutes just to, I guess, start to set up a little bit. It's not really clear to me what I'm supposed to or why I'm supposed to let it sit, but we'll let that sit for a few minutes and then we'll transfer into some serving cups. Now I don't know how many of these little cups I'm going to get, so I'll just fill them up until they're full. And then I'm going to stick these in the fridge to set up until supper time. I got to tell you, it smells amazing. And the mousse looks really light and airy. If it sets up well, this is going to be an amazing dessert. And there we go. It looks like I did get 8.
Hey friends. Hey Glen,
Hey Jules.
what's in the fridge? It looks very good. Did you bring the spoons?
I did bring spoons. So, this is...
Oh, the maple sugar.
Yeah.
I'm so ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
From this cookbook from 1936. I'm just going to have a little one because I haven't had supper yet and I don't want to ruin my supper.
Maybe I should share yours then because I was just thinking the same
Probably
thing.
a good idea.
Oh boy, that's super fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
Here, give that over here.
That's just...
See, Glen's dance of joy.
That's just... Stop hogging it.
Okay, so it's creamy, it's mapley, it's light. I'm sure it's not good for me in any way.
It's so light, isn't it?
Yeah, it would go, you could eat it on its own. I don't know that I could eat a whole thing though.
It is
Like
very...
you're eating straight up maple syrup. What else is in there other than like maple syrup and cream?
Maple sugar, an egg, whipping cream, and gelatin.
Okay, so not a whole lot.
No, not a whole lot, but just enough that it all comes together, which is really nice. Now, this is the 1967 version of this 1936. So in the 1967 version, 2 recipes up, and this recipe is not in here. It is the same kind of mousse, no whipping cream, just gelatin and egg, and it starts with maple syrup instead of maple sugar.
Okay.
And I wonder...
Oh, I had assumed it started with maple syrup. That was
No,
my
no,
mistake.
this is
Assumption on my part.
maple sugar.
Okay.
Now, for everyone out there who's saying 1936, Great Depression, maple sugar costs so much money.
It grows on trees here.
It grows on trees here. And Quebec at that time would be, rural.
Yeah.
Be very rural. You would have maple trees on your property. You would be making maple syrup every spring. You would be making maple sugar every year because...
Heck, we make maple syrup at our house.
Well, yeah, it's essentially at that point free compared to other types of sugars which would have to be brought in from somewhere else. So this would be very cost effective in that time period. Not so much today.
Unless you make, even when you make it yourself, the cost is time.
This is a great recipe. If you can get some maple sugar, get your hands on maple sugar, watch our maple sugar video, watch our maple syrup video. Maybe you're tapping your own trees this year. Maybe you're out there tapping your own trees. That would be great. This is an amazing recipe. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.